Hello, honey, and welcome back to Etta Financial. I am Lauren Guest, your financial unity coach, and I am so excited to help you show up in your marriage, into your marriage finances with grace and confidence. In last week's video, we talked about the things that you can control. I mean, we are women and we like to control things. And so I was really diving into what you can control in that last one, and it's how you can control your habits and what the line that you go through to get there. If you haven't got to see that video yet, I really suggest that you head back there and check that one out. I will try to link it in the description so that you can find it. But today we're going to talk about the things you can't control. Dang it, we can't control some things. And this is actually, there's two parts to this. And the first one kind of plays into last week's. And when we talked about that you can control your habits, the part that kind of bites is we can't control the results or the outcomes. You see, those things are left to God, and we serve a very good God, but his ways are not our ways. His plans are not our plans. Unfortunately, we can't fathom what he has in store for us. And so really rooting ourselves in God and his plans and trusting him to handle things, because this is going to let our hearts rest in the fact that we are loved and cared for beyond our wildest understandings. And so we can trust those outcomes and those results to God. If you have ever read in Genesis, read through the story, through the life of Joseph, God had a plan for his life, but it was not linear. Things in our life are not linear. It was good. He was favored by his father. Then it was bad because his brothers sold him into slavery. Then it was good because he was in the house of Potiphar, and then it went down because Potiphar's wife lied about him. Then he went into prison, and then it went back up whenever he got to be Pharaoh's right-hand man, the manager of all of Egypt. So that progression was not straight. God's plan for his life was not a linear plan. It was up and down, and he had to go down to get to the next level. And if you have walked life in any way, shape, or form and run into these things, you understand that our lives are not going to be exactly as we plan. And so, but knowing, like Joseph did, knowing that the Lord is with him every step of the way, that is what can give you the peace to carry on. So we can't control our results or the outcome. You also, this one's going to be a shocker. This one's going to hurt. You can't control your husband. I know, don't worry. I've tried to. It didn't work very good. And maybe you've had the same results. Maybe we've talked in some of the last videos how we are cursed with trying to control things. And this one hurts. We've tried to control our husbands in some way, shape, or form, try to make them do things right or the way that we think it needs to be done. And maybe for a period of time, if you, for a period of time, get to control him, there are two results here. And the first one is you can control him for a little while, and then he bucks the bridle, and like he doesn't trust you anymore because you forced him to do these things and you didn't listen to him. So he bucks the bridle and goes on and does whatever he wants. The second thing that could happen is maybe he forgets the man that God created him to be. You see in Ephesians 5:33, Ephesians 5:33, it tells us to respect our husbands. Yes, it also says for our husbands to love us. Husbands, love your wives, and wives, respect your husbands. But it is not conditional of one another. It doesn't say, well, but wives, if your husband doesn't show you love, then you don't have to respect him. It's not what it says. That's not what it says. This is unconditional. This is no matter where your husband's at, you are called to respect him. And respecting him is not making him a puppet. It's also not being a puppet to him. And so working together in this and communicating in this in a way that you can both head in a direction, because it says in scriptures that two are better than one, but a three-cord strand is impossible to break. And so when we are connected with our husbands and in Christ with our journey in finances, you will go so much further. You see, we can't we can't manipulate things. We can't manipulate things. And it doesn't work. I mean, you can, but it just doesn't work. And it's not a wholesome life, and it will bring more stress on your life than just staying the way that you are. I do not suggest that. So that's why we're talking about these things today. And maybe you don't feel loved. Maybe you don't feel loved. This is something I was going to talk about and forgot. Maybe you don't feel loved. And one of two things there's going on here. One is your husband maybe showing you love and you're just not feeling it. You don't know how to accept that from him, or you don't see it from him. Maybe if he's genuinely a decent human being, he's probably trying to show you love as his wife. But if you're not feeling loved, I really suggest the 5 Love Languages Ministry. They have done a very phenomenal job at trying to help bridge those gaps there. So learning that he is showing you love. And the other thing is, and if this is the case, I am deeply sorry. If he's just flat not loving you, like he's not trying, I'm so sorry if that's the case. First of all, I cannot imagine being in your shoes, but I highly suggest some sort of counseling, either talking to a pastor or going to a professional counselor, something to help you take that next step so that you can be in a safe place, in a loving place, and you can know God's love for you. So that's just a side note. I really wanted to have this video. The point of this video was to give you freedom. These things you cannot control, and you are not created to control. God did not equip you to control these things, because he is the one who is controlling these things, controlling the results, controlling the outcomes. Can you help? Yes. And this is where you can be in prayer and say, hey, God, this is one of my favorite prayers. And this is take it and use it as your own. My favorite prayer is, God, light a flame in my husband's heart so that I can fan it into a blazing wildfire for you, God. I'm here. I am your servant, and I want to bring him to you and just make him this passionate ball of fire for God. And that is my prayer, and take it and use it as your own. But you have things that you can control. You can control your habits, and that was the last video. And those habits will help with the results, but you cannot be in charge of those results. That is a weight that you are not meant to bear. I pray that you have a wonderful evening. Please subscribe to this if you have been blessed, so that I know that I can keep continuing to bring you this content and bless you.